Hello guys, and welcome to a new Total War Warhammer series today by me, Vulcan. Previously we completed campaigns with the Wood Elves on hard difficulty, the Warriors of Chaos on very hard difficulty, with no defeats, and that still is something that I'm quite proud of. I don't really know how that quite happened. I got to the end of the campaign and realised we had no defeats, which was quite funny. I guess it's much easier when you don't have settlements to worry about, but still. That was quite something. A lot of Pyrrhic victories in that one. But here we are, going to start a new campaign, and we are going to play another grand campaign. And for our faction today, I did have quite a lot of suggestions whilst I was playing as the Warriors of Chaos, and I've been thinking about what I would like to play during that campaign quite a lot. But a couple of suggestions were for the Empire, which is a cool faction. A couple of them for the Vampire Counts, which I've played before and played like an entire playthrough of. And then another one was for Clan Angrund. And I think in this one we're going to be playing Clan Angrund. So the reason for that is I don't really play dwarves very often, and I really want to try them out. I haven't really played much into them. I played like a couple of taster campaigns, I guess, of Clan Angrund, just to make sure that I have like the beginning of the campaign set out, because it's probably the hardest part of the campaign in general. But basically I wanted to play Clan Angrund because of Belegar Ironhammer. In our Warriors of Chaos campaign, Belegar Ironhammer came up over and over again to defend various strongholds against us, and it was seriously like crazy how much we had to fight Belegar Ironhammer in order to win the Chaos campaign. And therefore, it seemed only right to now play as him and help him take back his ancestral homeland. So here we go. Here's Clan Angrund. Here is their details. Dwarf chief's purpose is to take back their rightful possessions and right the wrongs recorded in the Great Book of Grudges. Skarsnik, a Night Goblin warlord, all but dominates the lost fortress of Karak 8 Peaks. Belegar Ironhammer has taken this grudge very personally, indeed, and intends to set the record straight. A tall order? Not really. So, with Clan Angrund, we get access to the Angrund ancestors, which gives us like 4 agents at the start. We have grudges, which is the standard sort of mechanic for the dwarves, where we want to avenge lost strongholds, battles lost, stuff like that. And then we have the Underway available, which is very similar to the World Routes in the Wood Elves, although obviously the Underway was in the game before that because the Dwarves came out first. But then we have a roster of heavily armoured units with strong leadership and a variety of deadly war machines, and that's what I'm really excited about, is like their artillery. It looks really cool. Now this is their background. If you would like to read that, then please do. It's actually a pretty cool background. I'm not going to read that all out for you, though. If you'd like to read that, then please pause. But in the meantime, that's it. So let's continue and select Belegar Ironhammer as our faction leader. We don't really have a choice in the matter, as we're playing Clan Angrund. Belegar Ironhammer is our leader. He is a powerful offensive melee fighter and leader. He has the siege attacker attribute. He has an ancestral grudge to recapture a Karak 8 Peaks, which is sort of down in the bottom right of that left map there. And he has early access to rangers through the Ranger Outpost building. We have an upkeep of plus 50% until Karak 8 Peaks is recaptured, which is horrible, but there we go. Got to deal with that. Leadership plus 10 when laying siege. He starts with 4 Clan Angrund ancestor heroes, and he has a unique building chain available at Karak 8 Peaks. He has the additional starter units of Rangers, Dwarf Warriors, and Hammerers. So it's just an extra unit of standard Dwarf Warriors, Rangers, and the Hammerers are quite good for armor piercing, but I mean, we're not going to be using them particularly much against the Orcs. Well, we will be using them, but they won't be as effective as they can be against other armored units. And this is the background for Belegar Ironhammer. If you would like to read that, then again, feel free to pause it and do so. In the meantime, let's continue and start the campaign.
Clan Angrund is adrift, my lord Belegar. yet hope remains. The dwarf lords of Karak have sponsored your quest to retake your ancestral home. A chance yet lingers. The journey will be long and perilous. There is much ground between here and your throne, and enemies are everywhere. To the north, the treacherous and duplicitous Skarsnik, self-proclaimed warlord of Karak 8 Peaks, moves to usurp your birthright once more. Time is of the essence. Yet in the east, the Badlands teem with more Greenskins, and even the border princes may wish to exploit your plight. You must not relent. Through your rage and determination, the fortress of Karak 8 Peaks shall be returned to dwarf rule once again, with you, Belegar Ironhammer, as its rightful king.
And here we are, finally, in the Clan Angrund campaign on very hard difficulty. So we have our chapter objective issued. The Angrund clan is beset by tribulation. Far from their ancestral home and with little of their former power, they nevertheless cling to hope. Clan Angrund's strength endures in Belegar, aided by the spirits of his restless, vengeful ancestors, and supported by allied clans. He will see the dwarves' glory restored. Okay, so occupy, loot, raise or sack 3 different settlements for 2,000. This is the same thing as we read before we started the campaign.
True king.
And yeah, so I have, like I said before, played a couple of sort of tester/taster campaigns to see if I would enjoy it or would be successful at it as well, especially on very hard difficulty. So yeah, what we're going to do first of all is set all of these heroes to deploy. The reason for that is to reduce the amount of public order we're taking this turn. Belegar is going to recruit us 3 units of dwarf warriors, as we are going to need to bolster our army as soon as possible. And at Karak we are going to get the ale store for extra public order and the extra dwarf beer resource there, and furthermore the income. Really nice building. So for our technology, we need to choose include related families, and then we're going to head towards dwarven emissaries. And that's so that we can like exploit the AI to just give us cash for like no reason, basically. We can offer them like military access and make them pay for it. It's quite funny. So we're going to do that. And that is everything for this turn. We do have the Skull Takers over here. They are a roaming clan of orcs. And over here we have Karak and Zarak Zil, which are the 2 settlements in the Vaults, which is our province, that we're going to need to take back sooner than later. So Karak it's going to be our first port of call. So I'm just building up with Belegar Ironhammer. I'll jump the heroes in there and we'll head over to Karak. So let's end the turn. Not going to spend any more cash than I have to. I would upgrade the military building, but we don't need access to Quarrelers just yet. So here we have our grudge issued, the greatest of grudges. Seen as an oath unfulfilled and a sore point for all dwarves, the loss of Karak 8 Peaks was a low point for the Karaz Angkor. Since its fall, many dwarves have tried and failed to reconquer it. Belegar is the latest of these who has dedicated his life to reclaiming this famous hold. As a direct descendant of the last ruler of Karak 8 Peaks, Belegar and those in Clan Angrund consider its occupation their greatest grudge. So the old leader of Karak 8 Peaks was actually, I believe, King Lun Ironhammer, who we have as our ancestral hero, which is cool. So yeah, we're going to jump them all in, embed them all in the army. I haven't really showed off their abilities, so I'll quickly do that. If we go into their character details, we see these guys are just sort of really good melee characters with the inspirational and exemplar traits that we used a lot in the Chaos campaign, and we're going to be doing that again. For Dramar, he buffs ranged units by just being around them. So he's a master engineer, so basically makes our artillery and range units much more effective. He can also boost our tradable resources later on, which is really cool. Especially considering we are going to be relying a lot on trade throughout this campaign. You'll see that come across. And then we also have a support specialist here. He relies on runes, and these are sort of spells basically that buff our units or debuff the enemy. So what we're going to do, since we got those 3 units of Dwarf Warriors, is just tunnel our way towards Karak Buftar in the underway stance, and that is everything for this turn. So currently our upkeep's only like 86 per turn, but that's because the upkeep is like plus 50% until we take Karak 8 peak, so you can see like a Dwarf Warrior unit costs 168 per turn as upkeep, which is crazy, but will sort itself out later in the campaign. So we're going to jump into normal stance and we're going to attack Karak Buftar. So one thing that I must say is that a lot of the time in these battles, due to the fact we have 4 heroes in our army, the auto-resolve bar is going to be like incredibly in our favor, even though like if we fought it on the battlefield, we would probably lose a lot more men. And that means that I will auto-resolve, auto-resolve abuse, I guess, in this very hard campaign just to make sure it works. But in this battle, I think we're okay to actually fight it on the battle map against all these orcs and goblins. Mainly just because I want to show you guys the units that we have under our command, and also show off these ancestral heroes in combat. So let's jump in and fight this on the battle map. So here we are on the battle map, and what I'm likely going to do is go to the high ground here. Not entirely sure where they're going to be. So let's just start the battle. Okay, they're going to be at the bottom of the hill. That actually works for us quite well. So I'm just going to line up all of my infantry nice and wide. We'll get the rangers to hang out in front, and we'll just get all of our heroes to follow up for now. Probably just going to walk them and speed up the game, because that way they don't lose so much vigor. So ideally what I want to do, we're probably going to charge forwards with our heroes first, and then we'll back them up with the Dwarf Warriors. Once they all get into position, I'll control group them and move them forwards that way. I've already done a control group, but I'll lock the formation so that we can move them forward as one. Alright, that should do. Are we nearly in range? Yes, we are. Let's see if we can sneak forwards a bit. Are we able to fire? That's going to be us able to fire there. Okay, cool. So we're going to actually target the Goblin Archers there. And I think I might target the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. And they aren't attacking me, which is strange. So we're just going to take advantage of that, why not? And continue our skirmish phase. Meanwhile, I can actually show off my units. So, we have some miners. These are dwarves with pickaxe, pretty lightly armoured for dwarves. We have our hammerers. They're much heavily armoured, much more heavily armoured. And they have the hammers, of course, which are armour piercing. Then we have our Dwarf Warriors, which are our standard infantry with axe and shield. We have our Rangers, which are our crossbow units, very similar to Quarrelers, except from they have axe and shield as well. We're going to attack the goblin archers there next, because we did just make a unit of goblin archers rout. Going to move forwards this unit because they're not really firing to their full potential onto those goblin wolf rider archers. Okay, they're finally coming towards us. No, okay. We're good for now. And finally, we have our heroes here. Our ancestral heroes. We have Tramal Hammerfist, who buffs our ranged units. Actually, that's a good point. Should probably be doing that. So that gives extra armor piercing and physical resistance. Extra armor piercing is great just to do more damage. And are they finally coming towards us? They are. Okay, cool. Right, so we're going to hopefully move back with the rangers. If it will let me. I don't know why I can't move them. Ah, it's because they have the debuff on them. So they are currently stuck there, which means I'm going to have to move forwards my units. Okay, can I finally move you back? I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Goblin Wolf Riders hit my left flank. What we're going to do is just quickly pause it. I'm going to charge forwards my heroes. We'll get Belegar in there as well. Okay, so we want to get them back as soon as possible. And then we want to flank this center unit with the rest of our forces. I don't particularly care about their Goblin Wolf Rider archers. We can continue to attack there. We're just going to back up the heroes with our Dwarf Warriors. And we will tell the Rangers to attack their missile forces. Okay, we can actually surround them already, which is good. So we're going to do just that. We did get hit in the back by the Goblin Wolf Riders, but fortunately those things don't actually have too much charge, and in prolonged combat we should win. How are we doing here? Okay, I think these guys, have they run out of ammunition? No, not yet. So we'll get them to finish off some of those archers. And I might tell them to run into the back of these goblins. Just to help us out there. Meanwhile, these guys can turn and attack the goblin wolf riders here. Actually going to keep them pretty tight formation. Make sure that we continue the attack with Belegar. Need to make sure we do the same here as well. And we'll get the rangers in there to help the miners. Okay, so Orc Boy's gonna die very quickly to hammerers. Rangers, yeah, should be able to help out with the goblins. So the other nice thing about ranged units with the dwarves is they generally have pretty good melee attack and armor, so they can put up a fight in prolonged melee combat. I may as well be firing into the back of those men there. Going to bring the hammerers up to charge into the back of them. Now let's attack the Goblin Wolf Rider archers because they are currently just free firing. How's Dramar doing? I think he's trying his best to fire into the enemy. I just sniped that orc there. Very cool. So this is Spiked Beard Taker, probably the garrison force leader. Okay, we actually ran out of ammunition. I was just waiting for another volley to come down on them, but it was not coming. Well, let's probably charge into the side of these infantry here. Need to make sure that my Thane is actually doing something, but doesn't matter because we just got a victory. Don't have to chase down the men. Couldn't anyway because we're dwarves. And we lost 291 men. Close victory. Probably lost a few more than I would have hoped. But the Ranger's getting a lovely amount of kills there. No unit ranks though, which is interesting. But that's going to kill off all 1,700 of those guys. And we're going to occupy Karak Bufta. Just to make sure that we don't screw up the public order in the province. So, Talisman gained. And we're going to go for Inspiring Presence with Belegar. Okay, and this turn we also need to recruit some more Dwarf Warriors. And over here we're going to produce a Woodman's Hut and upgrade the Dwarf Brewery to level 2. So that should sort out our income and allow us to support those extra 3 units of Dwarf Warriors. Our technology is nearly completed to give us extra public order. And one thing that I'm going to do is go through our diplomacy now, because I actually forgot to do that in the first turn. So let's see. So we'll go by attitude. There is a lot of chance of us getting non-aggression packs, I believe.
Do not disappoint.
Let me see if I can ask them to give me money to do so. Yeah, okay, so they're going to give me 300. Got to be careful with how much I'm asking for.
Greetings on behalf of the Empire. Now what brings you here with a sheathed blade?
Will you give me 500? No. Will you give me 300? No. Will you just give me a non-aggression pact? Yes, you will. Okay. Tilia.
Greetings. We may not be the Empire, but our realm has riches and strength.
Let's see if they want to give me some cash. No? Do you want to give me 300 for that? Yes, you do. And we could probably get a Stalia on side, maybe for 300 as well. Cool. So that's some extra cash right there. We've already got a military alliance with the Wood Elves. Carcassonne, probably not a good idea to get a non-aggression pact with them because they are enemies with the Wood Elves and we want to keep the Wood Elves on side as long as possible. And then the rest of the nations we are currently at war with. So we start at war with all of the Greenskin factions pretty much that we know of, other than Black Venom. Right, can we trade with Wissenland maybe?
Greetings on behalf of the Empire. Now what brings you here?
Because that would be very useful if we could. No, they're going to reject that. Okay, so I don't think we can get trade agreements with anyone just yet. We might have to wait a turn for those non-aggression pacts to kick in, and then we'll be able to take advantage of that, and that will improve our income. Right, let's end the turn. And there we go, our technology has been researched, extra public order. Now we're going for the Dwarven Diplomats. So what I'm going to do this turn is we're going to march down towards Zarakzil. And we do currently have minus 42 per turn now, but hopefully we can secure trade agreements this turn.
Greetings. We may not be the Empire,
I might have to just accept them as they are. Or you just take a trade agreement. Oh, I don't want you to join that war. I love the way that like counter proposal was so stupid.
Approach and make your offer.
No, okay, they're both not going to give me trade agreements just yet. So we'll move on to the next turn. I marched to the edge of our province for the replenishment, and now the Skull Takers are coming back down. That's fine. We're just going to normal move towards Zarakzil. And let's try again this turn for trade. We are going to be spending a lot of time in our diplomacy. Will you accept it? No. Is that going up? Yes, it is. It is improving.
I will listen, but my time is short.
Okay, so they actually gave me money to trade with me, which is good. Next turn we'll try again with Tilia. And we also want to make sure that we have non-aggression pacts with everyone we know. So we haven't discovered anyone new yet, which is fine. So we're currently on plus 155. Skull Takers are now coming towards Karak. Karak has a reasonably good garrison, I think, and they only have, what, 6-7 units, so we should be okay. Let's attack Zarak. And the auto-resolve bar is far in our favour. So let's go ahead and auto-resolve this one. I would love to play those ones out for you, but it's just not worth it. There we go. We unlocked a Regiment of Renown, and since I had to buy the DLC to play this campaign, we now have access to Regiments of Renown, so there's an extra bonus, I guess. Got the province secured, which is nice, and the faction was destroyed. So yeah, Regiments of Renown, at each level of your hero, you can basically buy them, all the way up to like level 20, where we unlock a Gyro Bomber, which is really cool. But yeah, the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are the first ones we can get. We're not going to buy them yet, because it's just a waste of upkeep for now.
Lord of the Angrund.
But we can upgrade Belegar, so we're going to get Route Marcher. Should allow him to move a lot farther, 10% further. And we're going to go for Marshal with King Lun. Dramar's going to upgrade Triangulation to get the extra missile damage. We're going to get Halkenhaf with Marshal again. He's a Thane as well. And Throny Ironbrow. We are going to get Strike the Runes for the cooldown on rune abilities. I didn't actually show off his rune abilities in that battle, which was a bit bad of me, but there we go. And what we're going to do at Zarak is probably get the barley field, because I kind of want to upgrade these provinces as quickly as possible. So the barley field won't give me any more cash, but will give me the growth in casualty replenishment rate.
True king of 8 peaks.
And that's pretty much everything done. We don't need to recruit any more men just yet. Technology finishes next turn. Can we get our trade agreements? We have unlocked trade with the border princes, so hopefully we can make that happen. They do definitely want it, but how much can we ask them for the privilege? Okay. Probably get about 900 off them. No? 600? Maybe we'll go 700. You can type it in manually. There we go. Okay, so we got 700 from them for a trade agreement, which is nice. And Tilia here.
Do not greet me as a friend, nor are we foes.
Okay, they still don't want it, although our attitude is improving.
Do not greet me as a friend.
I'm tempted to give them like a gift. Then next time we can get that trade agreement going. But now I'm going to leave it. We're currently on plus 700 per turn now, which is nice. And we're going to end it there. Although we do need to give ourselves a commandment, of course, since we did take over the entire province. So I think what we're going to do is go for extra tax rate, possibly. Yeah, we'll probably go for extra tax rate until we have more trade agreements, and then I'll probably change it to additional tradable resources faction-wide. Yeah, let's end the turn there.
Rival power comes to parley, demanding a change in your mutual relations.
The Wood Elves would like
Consider
help
their offer
with
carefully.
Carcassonne. Will you give me money for the privilege. Yeah, okay. I just offered you that. Why did you counter proposal with the same amount? Yeah, we'll take 600. Join that war.
Stronger. Let our clans be as one.
The thing is, it works because with Carcassonne, they're not actually going to attack us. They have to go through the Wood Elves first. But here we have Karak. They would like a defensive alliance. If we demand a payment for the privilege, no, I'll try again next turn. I would like a defensive alliance with Karak. And Karak is under siege. We've completed Dwarven diplomats. So hopefully we can get that trade agreement with Tilia finally.
Do not greet me as a friend.
Okay, so that's
nor
now
are we
high.
foes
And we should
yet.
be able to get cash from them now. Yeah, 900 they gave us for that. Awesome. So I'm not really worried about Karak being attacked.
Belegar Ironhammer.
Which may seem strange, but... There we go. Right, we're going to march with
Lord of the
Belegar
Angrund.
all the way back. And we're going to start upgrading one of these. So, probably Karak Bufta. We can attack this army from Karak. And unfortunately, guys, it has been my time. So I think next episode we're going to sally forth and attack the Skull Takers with the garrison. And then we'll see where we have to go from there. But in the meantime, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed the beginning of this new series. See you next time. Goodbye.